Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So glad you're all here. This is a big moment for us. We have the musicians of Emerson, and now we have the junior musicians of Emerson, or as we call them, the Mojos. We've only been meeting for about a month, and none of these wonderful musicians had played the ukuleles before. So in 1 month, they learned chords, they learned notes, and we wrote a song together.
Wow.
So all the verses that each of our musicians are going to sing, they wrote themselves. So this is a self-written song. We also have, and we'd like to invite other young people to join us in Mojo. So if there's any other young folks out there who would like to participate, we have more ukuleles, we've got djembes, we're going to be doing a lot of interesting things with music, and all young people are welcome. Just to see Bruce or Michael Lukens. So, are we all ready? All right. 1, 2, 3.
There's a place in my heart for memories, and it seems to grow larger each day. I'm not sure how to remember them all. Don't want them to just fade away.
I remember my old dog Willie. He looked like a hot dog that smiled. I loved him so much, and I still think of him. He was such a great friend as a child.
There's a place in my heart for memories, and it seems to grow larger each day. I'm not sure how to remember them all. Don't want them to just fade away.
I love my dad. He made me giggle. Through laughter and fun we share every day. His joy makes my heart wiggle.
There's a place in my heart for memories, and it seems to grow larger each day. I'm not sure how to remember them all. Don't want them to just fade away.
I have a cat named Turkey. He is cute and chunky. With his purr, he brightens my day. My furry friend always.
There's a place in my heart for memories, and it seems to grow larger each day. I'm not sure how to remember them all. Don't want them to just fade away.
I once threw a shoe at my brother. He was very annoying that day. He wasn't very happy. I quickly ran away.
There's a place in my heart for memories, and it seems to grow larger each day. I'm not sure how to remember them all. Don't want them to just fade away.
I used to have a cat named Cooley. He was so warm and sweet. I never bonded with him too much, but he was
There's a place in my heart for memories, and it seems to grow larger each day. I'm not sure how to remember them all. Don't want them to just fade away. As a child, I played among gardens that my family planted with care. The flowers, the paths, and the vegetable patch grow the memories that I share today. There's a place in my heart for memories, and it seems to grow larger each day. I'm not sure how to remember it all. Don't want them to just fade away. Don't want them to just fade away.
Good morning. My name is Mary Klein Golbetz, and I am so honored to be here with you all today. Welcome to Emerson, especially if you're one of our visitors today. We gather here in person and as an extended community with those online as well. Unitarian Universalism is unambiguously, unapologetically progressive. This congregation affirms the inherent worth and dignity of all people by actively working to end racism, oppression, by supporting LGBTQIA+ communities, by working for reproductive justice, voting rights, and other issues, as the world calls us to side with love. We seek to build beloved community not only here, but in the wider community that we live and work in, by living out our shared Unitarian Universalist values. And we bring a spirit of joy to it all. Everyone here is invited to join us for social time following the service. Those here in person are invited to join us for light refreshments in our fellowship hall on the first floor behind the sanctuary. Welcome. Each Sunday, we pause to light our chalice as a symbol of Unitarian Universalism and our commitment to be a beacon of love in the world. Today, the chalice will be lit by Annabelle Tomac. Thank you, Annabelle. We light this chalice in celebration of the gift of life. May its light be a beacon of hope, a sign of our quest for truth and meaning. And now, in the spirit of love and of this beloved community, let's greet and welcome each other to this new day as we share our congregational affirmation. We need not think alike to love alike. And in the spirit of love and beloved community, let's greet and welcome each other to this new day. Those in the sanctuary, please feel free to move around to offer greetings. And for those online, please use the chat to introduce yourselves and say hello.
Good morning. I'm the Reverend Christina Branum-Martin, and I joyfully serve this congregation now as your settled minister. Today is a celebration of those who we have loved and lost, and those we long to be with more. Today, we invite the memories of those to fill this room and fill our hearts so that they may come alive and so that we may be mindful and grateful of the lasting impact of all of them on our lives. We offer these opening words by the Reverend John Von Rue. Here is where you can lay it down. Lay down all that you have carried, the weight of the world that has rounded your back, leaving you aching and tired. Here is where the healing begins and where burdens are set down, and alongside one another's, their magnitude does not seem as great. Here is where the doors are thrown open and the light comes in through the shadows on what is hidden that perhaps we did not see. Here is where you can rest, where nothing is expected but that you bring all of who you are into the presence of the sacred and of this loving community. Let us worship together. Let us sing now together, too, for all that is our life, number 128 in the gray hymnal, and here are the lyrics. We've come to the time where we share the matters of our heart, our joys, our sorrows, our concerns. And Annabelle, would you help me with the stones? The stones themselves have weight and they are smooth. They are indicative of the times in our lives that are joyful and difficult. And the water receives them with calmness and ease. Each week you are invited to put what is on your heart in this book as you enter the sanctuary, or email during the week to pastoral care at our website. On our website, the email for pastoral care is listed. We place these stones as we start each service. In honor of the Cherokee and the Muskogee nations and the indigenous people who lived here before us. For those wrongly enslaved and who labored on this land. For all those killed or injured by gun violence in this country. And for all those hurting in conflicts and war across this globe. And our community has so many things to share this week. First, I want to share a joy that Emily Vinson, our administrator, is doing better, is going to be at home for a little while still in a neck brace and not able to turn to drive yet, but working some. So please email the office for all the normal things you would have emailed, and Emily will be back soon. And Judy Griffin has a joy to share. Judy has a new and first great-grandchild. Jace Matthew Griffin, or maybe Jane, I'm not sure of the letter. But this baby was born on the 15th of the month, and of course, this baby is beautiful and perfect in every way. And Nikki Fambro shares that we are so proud that Jai is making the AB honor roll for the first time. Woohoo! We have a note from Mary Engel and Tom Engel that their grandson is on their way, and the baby was expected in December but might be born in the next few weeks. So we send thoughts of healing and strength as that time comes. A joy from Tom and Bernadine Codaletta. Our daughter Cheryl is recovering from cancer surgery, and recovery has been slow, but she's gaining enough strength to return to her home in Panama City, Panama, this Sunday. And a joy of appreciation for James Johns for helping Emerson replace the big outdoor wooden stairs outside in the playground. It took hours and hours of work, and we thank you. I have another from Maria Benitez. I'd like to recognize the people at Emerson who helped me during knee surgery. Richard Croker took me to therapy appointments. People called me and visited me and brought me flowers and fruit. And especially Karen Anderson and Wynn Scow, all the others who sent me cards and called me and emailed me and took me to vote. I am grateful, and I would like to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I have one more. Do we have enough stones? Oh, good. This is from Lynette Carlisle. She writes, I love October. Cooler weather, good hiking, change of seasons and fall colors. It's a month of anniversaries. Sadly, Mark's death on the 13th, Happily, our wedding anniversary on the 15th, number 19, and my membership at Emerson for 11 years. She recalls that Mark and I completed the Pathways class together, and he signed that membership book immediately on October 20th. But me, not a church girl, I had to think about it some more, so I signed it a week later on October 27th, 2013. And now I'll add welcoming Reverend Christina as our newly called minister to be celebrated. It's a good month in love and gratitude. Yay. We had lots of things to share today, but some of us still carry things in our heart that are not ready to be shared. Sometimes we just don't have the words. We don't know really how to reach out for what we need. So please know that we are here as a community, and I am here as your minister. Please let me know if I can support you. Let us close with the Buddhist prayer of loving kindness. May we all be filled with loving kindness. May we all be free from harm and suffering. May we all be well in body, heart, and mind. May we all be at peace. Blessed be.
One way that we put our prayer of loving kindness into action is by partnering with other organizations who work to bring love, kindness, and justice to the world. We encourage our members and our friends to support their work financially as we share our weekly collection and also by participating in direct action. This week is our last week for our Share the Basket partner for October, Must Ministries Breakfast Program. Must Ministries serves breakfast daily for clients at the Must Hope House in Marietta. Emerson volunteers cook and serve breakfast once a month, every second Monday, plus Thanksgiving and Christmas, bringing groceries and starting cooking at 5:30 a.m. to serve by 6:30. We plan for 75 breakfasts and, when possible, have an additional 30 for those waiting outside. Our Must Ministries Breakfast Program is a great way to serve our community. Please give generously to keep this program going. For those in the sanctuary, as the basket is passed, please feel free to offer a donation or see other ways to give. For those online, go to emersonuu.org and select the Giving tab to donate. All donations, unless otherwise specified, are shared equally between Emerson and our partner organization.
I would like to invite Patricia Johnson up to share our story. And I do also love the sound of all those lollipop wrappers. Because you know what? A quiet sanctuary without children is not a growing and living congregation. So if you want to hand me your wrappers after the story, I'll put them away for you. Not really?
Am I on? Yes. Great. Morning, everyone. Hello, little people and big people. The story that I'm reading this morning is called Grief is an Elephant. It's written by Tamara Ellis Smith and Nancy Whiteside. Sometimes grief is an elephant. You might hear her heavy pancake circle feet, or she might take you by surprise. It's hard to breathe under all that grief. Close your eyes. Nope, she's still there. Howl into her giant ears. She doesn't care. Push her with your hands, shoulder, forehead. Lean into her with your whole body. Now, quick, slip out from under and run. She's fast, but you're faster. Still, grief always comes back. Only now she's a deer. Walk away slowly, backward. Shh. But grief's too tall ears easily track your footsteps. Find a four-leaf clover, or cross your fingers, or knock on wood. Hope with all your heart, and maybe you can make grief go away. Not forever, though. When grief comes back, she's a fox. Maybe offer her your hand, then touch the tip of her nose. Touch her small feet. They've traveled so many miles, but they still feel soft, like corduroy. What does she want? A story? A song? Some tea? Some toast? You know she hears you. She has those colossal, clever ears, but she doesn't ask for anything. She just settles in for a nap. When she's rested, she shows herself back out. But you're pretty sure she'll come again. You can watch for her by the window, or you can go outside and play. She might come when day turns to dusk. This time, grief is not an elephant, or a deer, or a fox, but a mouse. Look into her eyes. They are curious and kind. Stroke her gray cloud ears. Maybe grief is good at listening because she has those giant ears. Sit quietly with her. Then, when you're ready, talk to her. Tell her you sometimes trumpet to the sky. Tell her you sometimes bound and bay and squeak. Tell her most days, though, you feel small like her. Talk until the stars begin to come out, until listening becomes light, until grief becomes a small, smaller, smallest firefly. You can hold her in your palm, uncurl your fingers, and watch her fly into the night sky as her lights flicker on and off, on and off, on and off. Remember and wonder. Remember and miss. Remember and love. The end. Okay. Shall we sing our song of dedication?
Today is the day where we all acknowledge death and also sometimes broken relationships and estranged family members and those folks we miss that we no longer speak to for one reason or another. Because broken relationships sometimes feel like a death too. And grieving, just as importantly, is needed. There were leaves and pens as you entered the sanctuary, and some of you may have had an opportunity to write names of those who you would like to remember. And if you need some now, please raise your hand and the greeters will help get you some. Raise it high. And they're coming in a moment. I see them coming soon. I think the greeters also are helping some of our families with younger children go to the nursery, and so as we take a moment to let the leaves and pens come around, thank you so much for helping. We will move into a spirit of prayer and meditation in a moment. At the end of the service, we'll collect the pens, and if you just hold on to them and bring them to our basket in the back, we appreciate that. We'll use them again next time. Thank you so much for helping. Please join me by taking a deep breath and just feeling gravity hold you in place. We who are Unitarian Universalists not only affirm worth and dignity of every person, we also affirm the inherent wholeness of every being, despite apparent brokenness. No one in this room is a stranger to pain or the knowledge that things break or break down. Promises, friendship, sobriety, hope, communication. This breaking happens when our human hearts and our very institutions are frail and imperfect. We make mistakes, and life is messy, and brokenness happens. We're intimately acquainted with brokenness then, even as we believe that no matter how fractured we are or once were, we can be a whole people of ourselves We are whole at our core because of the great, unnameable, sometimes inconceivable love in which we live in and share amongst us. As Unitarian Universalists, we believe that paying attention to something is an act of love. So today, witnessing and naming brokenness is how we begin to heal it. And some sorrows demand to be named out loud, such as, my parent died, or my body is fragile, or that I'm scared I won't be able to make rent this month, or my streets in my city are filled with violence. Healing begins when we examine what is our pain and wonder how it occurred and allowing it to teach us. In fact, sometimes the brokenness is immense and the only grasp, the only power we have over that looming pain is to bear witness to it, to tell its story, and to seek out companions and helpers who are willing to help us and agree to that, yes, there is something messy in front of us, and we will not leave and even look away until the repair has begun. Here today amongst this group, this family, this congregation, here in this room, our prayer is that love begins with attention, and the repair takes form of compassion, bearing weakness, and speaking out. May coming together today allow us to witness that is broken, and that may we find a way for us to come together to see sorrow and pain in each other's faces, and to reach out with love and compassion and remind each other that we are not alone on our journey. Will you join me in a moment of silence? In that silence, may you feel the love in the room. May it be so.
Good morning, everybody. How are you doing? Christina was generous enough to let me share a really personal song with you this morning. I was raised by gardeners, and I became a gardener. And while going through my father's well-documented slides, I found a photograph of my Uncle Jack's garden in Smyrna that I grew up in, running around in. He had a greenhouse, he had a vegetable garden, he had flowers. And the last year of his life, him and I gardened together, and he shared with me great knowledge. Now, don't get me wrong, Jack was a very gruff, rough person, but he was a very gentle soul. And in this photograph, it was an image of my family sitting by a pond that he had made, and it brought back a lot of memories. My family sitting around after a picnic, just hanging out, chewing the fat, talking about the past. And fast forward to me sitting in my house where my piano used to sit. I could look out my courtyard where Jeffrey and I had built a small pond, just like my Uncle Jack's. And many years prior to that, he had given us a cutting to a lily. And I was sitting at the piano, kind of doing what I'm doing now, just noodling around. And I gazed out that window, and I saw the lily was blooming. And this lily is so beautiful. It's just a common water lily, but the color is so yellow. And I was staring at the center of that flower, and I was thinking of that photograph, and it dawned on me that that lily is the lily in that photograph. My Uncle Jack overwintered everything. That lily is the same plant he gave me a cutting from. And I instantly came to this song. It's called There's a Lily in the Pond. There's a lily in the pond, and it's yellow like the sun, and it carries me away today to a place I played. Watch me run. There's a table in the yard. The horse's shoe is in the air. A shaded gathering of mismatched chairs. There's a story there by the pond. Stories shower down like rain upon me. The garden grows and grows as it surrounds. So many flowers bloom, now disappearing. Spring is fleeting. Purple iris, hosta fig, scent of grass and cactus flower. A stretch of grass beneath my feet, running off to meet everyone. A race of 6 starts at the gate. Number 7's always late. Double mothers toil endlessly for their sets of 3. It never ends. Stories shower down like rain upon me. The garden grows and grows as it surrounds. So many flowers bloomed, now disappearing. Spring is fleeting. There's a lily in the pond, and it's yellow like the sun, and it carries me away. It carries me away. There's a lily in the pond, and it's yellow like the sun.
At this time of year, when we see the leaves change, and change seems to be all around us, we see shades of yellow and orange coming into the maples. Warmer weather here is still lingering, but chilly feelings are sometimes present in the mornings. And we move our clocks back soon, so that we can savor the daylight. It's also a time of the year when our children dress up for Halloween, and some of us honor All Souls Day. Halloween is a blended history of pagan traditions and those of the Christian traditions that are also referred to as All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day. And did you know that All Saints' Day is the day when they honored all the old saints, and All Souls' Day for the recently departed? And I went to Catholic high school, and we also would decorate ofrendas and altars on those days. And today we will decorate ours with our leaves. A practice known as souling involved baking cakes and sharing them with groups of children and the poor in the community. And they would go from door to door to collect them in honor of the souls suffering in purgatory. Oh my. But this is thought as the beginning of trick-or-treating. So for those of us honoring All Souls Evening of the Christian tradition, it was also influenced that the harvest festivals and the pagan festivals, all of these things, and including the Celtic festival is Samhain. Today in our memorial garden, the pagan group is also going to be honoring this turn of the year, this turn of the wheel. And the Memorial Garden Committee is going to name those who have been lost during our times of being a community here at Emerson, and those who have memories and ashes placed in our garden. So please feel welcome. All are welcome to join in the garden after our time for coffee and sweets. As Unitarian Universalists, we recognize Christianity and our earth-based spiritualities as two sources of our faith. And Halloween's rich history is a time to honor both the saints and the souls. And let me explain a little bit more about what that means. We can consider that those of us to be saints have been part of our lives. Those people who have exemplified our highest ideals and who can model for us ways of our own human nature. And we can also consider the souls that have been lost, the persons we have known and loved and still carry with us in our hearts. Those people with intellects and kindness and the people that impacted us in our lives and gave us lilies. And those people still live on in our memories, and this is what we teach our children about everlasting life, is that we do that in memory, in love and in care. And we do that by honoring the contributions that they gave to our lives. UU minister Reverend Terry Davis says, "Saints and souls are not terms that we frequently use in Unitarian Universalism. And we likely have different understandings of those terms. Yet perhaps we might all agree that these are references to those that we hold deep in our heart with our highest esteem. And we may ascribe to a saint a certain degree of holiness or a larger degree of specialness. But for some, saints may be understood as persons nearer to the rest of us to God. Or perhaps a saint might be a person more able than the rest of us to live a virtue-centered life. So as we honor those saints, those people in our lives who we feel we carry above us, with us, and our recognition of All Saints and All Hallows Eve, it's about remembering souls, those persons that lived with us and now we carry with us. Terry says, "I feel certain that every person here today has a connection to someone who has died. Some unavoidable part of life, death is. And we as Unitarian Universalists, perhaps as optimists of all of our religious traditions, believe that love conquers death. For those who have loved and lost and felt the pain of loss, it is the memory of them that lessens the pain. These people weren't perfect people. The people who would perhaps be qualified for sainthood, but they were perfectly human. They were flawed. They were ever-developing people, and in their perfect humanness, they taught us how to grow into who we are, learning how to reach for connection, learning how to reach for ways to forgive, learning for how to be more loving in our lives. And they taught us to be perfectly human. As we will come forward in just a moment to put our leaves in the front, I ask of you that you remember all of those you loved and all of those who you lost, and know that in your hearts, perhaps sometimes feeling like an elephant upon you, or maybe a deer, or a fox, or a mouse, or a firefly, that those memories are ones that you carry with you. Because grief doesn't have a timetable, but the healing process itself is something that we carry with us. So today we pause and set time aside for bringing our names forward. And we do this knowing that this helps us in community come together. Bruce, would you be willing to play some music while people come forward? You'll think about it. Thank you. Please be aware if there are those of you who need to take time moving forward or have physical limitations, to give people space to move, or hand it to your neighbor if you need someone to bring it forward for you. Know that in this space, these names will be the ones that we one day share in our memorial garden. Know that all of these names and all of us will be the ones that we remember into the future. May they continue to live in you and with you, and know that this place, that Emerson, is a place that holds you and holds them. If you would come forward in this section and bring your leaves. want to acknowledge, too, that there are those who at home who are not present to be with us in this room, but we know that you are a part of the spirit of this community. And I invite you to perhaps go out and find some leaves from a tree in your yard and to follow this ritual yourself at home. I have another special acknowledgement today. Sometimes we have to say goodbye, not just in death, but just knowing that things change in lives. Kathy and Ed, will you come forward? You can just stand up here if you want to. Kathy and Ed have shared that they are making some changes in their life and moving to another country in retirement, and for that, we are so happy for you. We will miss you. The choir, religious education, worship associate, a part of the ministry team, your presence, both of you, have been so much a part of the fabric of this community. And Ed has been a part of the ministry team with me since August of last year when I started. And you know what? You've been kind of my right-hand man. And I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss your voices in the choir. I'm going to miss your presence. As you move and you pack up the special things in your suitcases and take them with you, I hope that you can take this. It's just small enough to put in that suitcase. And I want to explain what it is. It's a chalice carved of plum wood. And on the top, what's engraved are the words, "May the long-time sun shine upon you." And underneath, a gift of love to Ed and Kathy from your friends at Emerson Unitarian Universalist Congregation. We love you. Would you like to say something, please?
I normally don't like to speak. But I spent some time with a gentleman last evening who was 97 years old. And he gave me this whole enthusiasm for living and life. And as we go forward in this new chapter in our lives, it caused me to think that he was from Hungary. And it reminded me that years ago I had the DNA test and I tried to figure out where my ancestry came from. And the test came back and it said Mozambique in Africa, just above South Africa. And it said actually Maputo, which is the capital city of Mozambique. And it gave me a rooting in my life and my ancestry. And so as I go forth in this new chapter, I would hope, well, let me finish that other story. So I met a guy when I was in sales, and he said, I told him I was from Mozambique, and he was from Africa, and he said, "You look Mozambique." And I thought, boy, that must just be the line. But then his wife came in, and he said to his wife, "This gentleman did the DNA test. Guess where he's from?" She said, "He looks Mozambique." So as I go forth in the new chapters of my life, I would hope that people will say, "He looks you." And he acts like an Emersonian. I love you. I love Love you. I love you.
So if you would stay here with us, we're going to sing a song for you. Would you play? Yeah, the lyrics are going to come. It's called May the Longtime Sun Shine Upon You. May the long-time sun shine upon you. All clouds surround you. And you are within you. As we close today, I share these words of benediction. For those who came before us, we have gratitude and thanks. May their memories be a blessing, and may we feel surrounded by their love. And as we go forth from this time and place, let us be inspired by their courage, their wisdom, their dreams, their imperfect perfection of humanity. Let us honor them by doing the work of living boldly, of loving mightily, and creating all that we can of heaven on earth. So as you leave this place, may you each remember that you are loved beyond belief. You are loved. May the long-time sun shine upon you.
Annabelle, will you help us extinguish the chalice, please? As our chalice is extinguished this morning, we extinguish this chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world until we are together again. So we have, I think, just one announcement today. Today there's a special combined ceremony, as Reverend Christina mentioned, in the Emerson Memorial Garden after the worship service. This ceremony is hosted by the Cups Pagan Group and the Emerson Memorial Garden Committee. The names of all we have said goodbye to over the years in the Emerson congregation will be read, and all are welcome. Go now in peace, and take peace wherever you go.